While not the fandom's most controversial duel of the franchise, that honor goes to Joey versus Merrick. Team 5Ds versus Team Unicorn is still one of the most divisive duels in the series. And it's because Yusei won a 3v1 almost on his own. But also because of the way he won. Jan, the leader of Team Unicorn, would have simply won if he ended his turn, as Yusei would have just decked out. But he instead pridefully attacked into Yusei's Sonic Warrior in defense position with his Hypnocorn. Yusei in response activated Stronghold Warrior from his hand, sending it to the graveyard to increase Sonic Warrior's defense by 1500 and causing Jan to lose from recoil damage. While I agree that it was insanely scuffed, what truly annoys me the most is that Yusei pretty much won on his own. Jack and Aki were both washed away by Andre, and it was up to Yusei to take out a whole team alone. I've already expressed this in a 4-part video series on my channel about how much I dislike how different Yusei, Jack and Aki and every other 5Ds character is between the two main seasons of 5Ds. And this duel reflects so much of it. Some people suggest that they should have Team 5Ds lose so that they quote-unquote learn the value of teamwork, but I want to do something more ambitious. Instead of following on Mr. Yoshida's vision of 5Ds to have Yusei be flawless, Jack be a noisy brute until he gets Scar Red Nova, and having Aki being barely a character, we are going to do the exact opposite. This is going to be over 20 minutes of fan rewriting. So skip over to this time if you want the recap. In any case, let's begin. Yliaster will order Jaeger to implement a surprise randomizer into the WRGP. This randomizer is going to select who the first D-wheeler of every team is going to be for the first round. But of course, this is rigged. But why? Well, Yliaster through all of the previous episodes have recollected data on Yusei's deck, and they are going to anonymously send said data to Team Unicorn. The mail also strangely says that Andre will be their first D-wheeler no matter what. Jan and his team are beyond confused, unsure of what to make of it, but seeing as how they recognize some of the cards sent to be confirmed in Yusei's deck and how many of the unknown surprise cards synergize with the rest of the deck, they choose to accept it as being legitimate and use it to prepare for their upcoming match. The WRGP begins. Team 5Ds versus Team Unicorn. The randomizer will select Yusei and Andre no matter what. While Team 5Ds do find this last-minute addition to the system to be a little strange, they are not too concerned about it either. Before I talk about the duel, I want you all to remember that many cards in the anime exist not just as a reflection of the characters, but also the circumstances that they are in. Which is why I'm going to modify most of Team Unicorn's cards to fit the situation. Yusei and Andre begin, accelerating into their riding duel. Andre summons Uni-Horned Familiar and sets 2 face-downs. Yusei performs a classic combo with Quick Draw Synchron and Level Eater. But this is when cards are going to change for Team Unicorn. Andre smiles, telling Yusei that Uni-Horned Familiar has the effect that while it is face-up on the field, other level 2 or lower monsters can't be used as synchro materials the turn they are summoned. Yusei is very surprised, but presses on. He summons Rockstone Warrior and with it in Quick Draw, summons Jump Destroyer. He procs Destroyer's effect to destroy Uni-Horned Familiar. But Andre was also expecting something like this. He reveals Counter Barrier, Lost Force, which on the removal of one-year monsters by your opponent's card effect, this card will not only return the monster to the field, but it will also destroy the opposing card that used said removal effect. Andre expected Junk Archer to come out, but this outcome was still great. Team 5Ds are amazed, but they are also becoming suspicious as to how convenient all of that was. Yusei sets 1 face down and ends his turn. Andre now on his turn normal summons Unicorn Knight. Said monster has the effect to be treated as a level 3 to 5 monster when used as a material for the summoning of a Unicorn Synchro monster. With it in Uni-Horned Familiar, he summons Thunder Unicorn. He then banishes the End of Storm to summon Monoceros, and proceeds to battle. Thunder Unicorn attacks Level Eater. Yusei reveals Scrap Iron Scarecrow, but once again, Andre is ready. This Thunder Unicorn now has the effect to negate the activation of a trap that turned it is summoned and force it face down again. And also, it cannot be activated for the rest of the turn. With Level Eater destroyed and Monoceros attacking directly, Yusei's life points are reduced to 600. Crow clenches his fist, asking how is all of this happening? Jack also asks how is Yusei getting overwhelmed so easily? Luca says that perhaps it has to do with how Team Unicorn are known to be a very calculative team, especially through their leader Jan. Lua adds that it seems too good to be true, and that they are somehow cheating. Luca gets angry at him for suggesting such a thing, but Bruno He asks, but what if they are cheating? Everyone goes silent, looking at Bruno. He says how convenient it is that the randomizer added as a last-minute addition chose Yusei, and that Andre's deck is specifically built to counter every card Yusei has thrown out. Aki asks, who could have done this, and why? Bruno says he has no idea. But of course, he is well aware that it is Yliaster's doing. But he won't say a word about this to them. Yusei, just like Bruno, suspects that he and the team are being set up. And so he has decided on another path. Yusei activates Angel Baton, drawing 2 cards and sending Quabolt Hedgehog to the graveyard. Yusei sets 2 face downs and ends his turn. Everyone, from Team 5Ds to Unicorn, the MC and the crowd are left in shock. What is Yusei doing? Is he really not going to have a monster on the field? Andre, however, is still set on pressing forward. He goes into battle and attacks with Monoceros. It is stopped by Scrap Iron. Yusei reveals one of his traps, Reincarnation of Miracles, a trap version of Reincarnation of Hope, a spell he used in Bonds Beyond Time that allows him to send a monster from his hand to the graveyard, so that in his next 2 standby phases, he is able to add 1 monster from his deck to his hand. Andre cannot believe it. Yusei could have had Junk Synchron on the field, but he chose not to. Why? It doesn't matter. Thunder Unicorn battles but the attack goes through. Yusei's life points drop to 0. And yes, you heard it right. Season 2 Yusei, who Shin Yoshido designed him to be as invincible and relevant to the plot as possible, loses. Which means that it is up to Aki and Jack to win for the team. Yusei receives his confused teammates by telling them that there was no way for him to win. It's like they knew exactly everything about his deck, but says that it is fine, as he has entrusted his companions with victory through Reincarnation of Miracles and the other cards he left on the field. It is Aki's turn now, and she accelerates to meet Andre in battle. Aki draws, and through Yusei's trap, she adds Protector of the Garden to her hand. Aki summons Twilight Rose Knight and with its effect, summons the monster she just added to her hand. And Synchro summons her Ace Black Rose Dragon, triggering her destruction effect. Andre laughs, asking if she is really that angry that she took out the boy she liked so easily. Aki smiles wickedly, telling Andre that it is only his field that will be wiped out. She activates Protector of the Garden's effect, banishing it to protect her entire field from Black Rose's own effect. Jan is amazed at what she pulled off, commenting that such combo would not have been possible had it not been for Yusei's sacrifice. However, Monoceros' effect activates, as when it is destroyed, the player can add the banish spell they used as a cost back to their hand. Aki uses Level Eater's Graveyard effect to reduce Black Rose's level from 7 to 6 and special summon it in attack mode. Aki attacks directly with Black Rose and Level Eater, reducing Andre's life points to 1,000. Andre comments how amazing that was, but she should have saved that protection for the incoming storm. Andre activates Overboost to gain 6 speed counters, and then proceeds to use the End of Storm, telling Aki it's too bad that she won't get to keep her monsters after all. Aki smiles, asking back with the classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Protag question of, are you sure about that? And of course, Andre responds with a Nani. Aki reveals Yusei's other set card, Starlight Road, not only negating the End of Storm, but also summoning Stardust Dragon to her field. It's even better as Anime Starlight's summoning effect counts as a synchro summon. But why does Aki have Stardust in her extra deck? Yusei tells everyone that before the match, Aki and him worryingly discussed about how strange the randomizer was. They agreed that Yusei would entrust Aki with Stardust just in case she is the one who will be forced out first. As they also feel that, with everything that has happened up until now, that this might just be another ploy from their foes. In any case, Team Unicorn are left flabbergasted, while the rest of Team 5Ds and especially Aki's father cheer on greatly for her. Team Unicorn grow concerned. They did not expect Yusei to be able to set up Aki so gracefully after being neutralized the way he was. She adds another monster through the effect of Reincarnation of Miracles to her hand. Aki at the start of her turn sets 1 face down, then has Stardust on her turn reverberate for a direct attack to defeat Andre. But this is far from over. Brio is next up. He has to somehow overcome an opposing field with Black Rose, Stardust and Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Or does he? Brio normal summons Riem, who in this case will have the effect to summon a beast-type monster from his hand if he controls no other monsters and his opponent has more monsters. He summons Mind Mole, and together tunes them to synchro summon his own Ace Voltic Bicorn. Mind Mole's effect activates to allow him to draw 1 card, and Riem inflicts 500 points of damage when used as material for a Synchro Summon. Next is Voltic Bicorn's effect, which once per turn inflicts 100 points of damage equal to its level. 700 more points of damage go to Aki. He sets 3 face downs and ends his turn. Team 5D see exactly what is going on. Brio, rather than going for deck destruction like he did in the original version, is now set to win through burn damage. Lua and Luca warn her to look out for Speed World 2's burn effect. Aki wishes she could have started out with her doppelganger, as it would have guaranteed that Brio would also lose with said strategy. Aki draws and wide opens her eyes, surprised but excited for what she drew. Aki normal summons Lord Poison and proceeds to attack with Stardust. She reveals her face down, Plant Blooming Protection, which this turn protects a monster from destruction by discarding a plant-type monster. She sends Glow-Up Bulb and proceeds. Brio says, not bad as Ioi, but he activates Voltic Bicorn's effect, dealing 100 points of damage equal to its level when destroyed. Then reveals Regretful Tuning, which on destruction revives his Bicorn with half of its original attack and it can't be destroyed this turn by monsters with a lower level than it. Aki doubts if she should keep going. They can't win unless they go on the offensive, but also, Black Rose attacks and destroys Bicorn, dealing 1150 to Brio and 700 points of burn to Aki. And there is still more. Brio reveals Descending Lost Star to once again revive his Bicorn. Team 5D's comment on how ridiculous this is, while Jan smiles as everything is proceeding as planned. Aki, however, continues, attacking with Level Eater and destroying Bicorn. Everyone in the stadium is wondering why Aki would burn herself for more while gaining nothing. She attacks directly with Lord Poison, then sets 2 face downs and ends her turn. Brio draws a very interesting card, but says he won't need it, as he is going to end it right here. Using Speed World 2's effect to remove 4 speed counters, reveal any speed spell from his hand and inflict 800 damage for each of them. Brio reveals one, as he is about to win. He says it was an honor having to fight the former Black Rose Witch. Aki, however, tells him that he should hold his judgment until everything is done. Aki reveals one of her face downs, what grows after the fires. She banishes 1 monster from her hand to neutralize all burn damage this turn and heal herself for the damage she would have taken, bringing her life points up to 1600. Everyone in the stadium goes wild. Aki is still in, and Brio sees that he has no other choice left. He summons Giant Rat in face-up defense and ends turn with 2 face down. Aki draws, tributes Level Eater and Lord Poison to summon Titaniel. Aki brings Level Eater back in defense, then uses Speed World's 2 effect, removing 10 speed counters to non-target destroy Giant Rat through effect. But Brio immediately cuts her off, saying, I am afraid this match isn't going to end with either of us at the finish line. Team 5Ds wonder what exactly does he mean by this. Brio reveals one of his face downs, Flattering End. This trap will destroy any card on his field to inflict 800 points of damage for each of them. A powerful effect in the anime format where everyone duels with 4,000 life points. But it also comes with a deadly drawback, as it inflicts double that amount of damage to its user. Aki takes 1,600 and Brio double for 3,200. It culminates in a draw. It is up to their leader Jan and the King Jack Atlas to settle on who will emerge victorious. Now, if any of you have watched Jack Atlas through the many medias of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you will notice how different this early Season 2 Jack is compared to the rest. The other Jacks are kings in their own way, while early Season 2 Jack is a noisy, reckless brute both within and outside of duels. But we are not going to have any of that. Not just because Jack should have changed to be less reckless after his ordeal with the fake Jack, in which he dueled amazingly in their rematch, but also because of Yusei being defeated in such a fashion, and everything that Aki accomplished both on her own accord and with the cards Yusei left for her. He is motivated to press on with a different approach focused on team play. Jan commemorates Team 5Ds for making it this far, while Jack tells him to save his compliments until everything is done. Jan agrees, with them both boosting away into the final duel of the match. Jan begins by summoning Trident Warrior and with its effect, brings out Delta Flyer. He tunes them both to bring out his ace, Lightning Tricorn. Who is going to have the extra effect that when Synchro summoned, it can bring back one of the monsters used as a material? Jan goes into battle, attacking and destroying Level Eater with Trident Warrior. Jack wonders what is the point when he can stop Tricorn and revive Level Eater next turn. He attacks Stardust with Tricorn, and now Jack does use Scrap Iron Scarecrow to stop him. Jan smiles, screaming out, "Perfect." He reveals the other set card Brio had left for him, Horned Stampede, by sending Trident Warrior and one other card from his hand to the graveyard. Lightning Tricorn is sent to the graveyard, and Voltic Bicorn returns to the field. He then attacks Stardust and they are both destroyed. But of course, Bicorn's burn effect gets to trigger. Jan, however, is not done. The second effect of his continuous trap activates. By returning Voltic Bicorn to the extra deck and banishing monsters with a combined level to Bicorns, he gets to bring back Lightning Tricorn. And with it, Jan attacks and destroys Black Rose. Jan then activates his Tricorn's other effect. By banishing one of his Unicorn Synchro monsters from the extra deck, Lightning Tricorn can attack again while also gaining 500 attack. He proceeds to destroy Titanial, finally ending his battle and leaving Jack with 2,400 life points. The crowd gets excited and begin cheering for Jan. Team 5Ds are also left amazed. Andre and Brio comment that Team 5Ds aren't the only ones who can set up their teammates for success, and wonder, what is the former king going to do? But Jack is not shaken. Jan sees it in his eyes that even with the field as it is, Jack is unwavering. He sets 2 face downs and ends turn. Jack on his turn special summons Vice Dragon. He then activates the other effect of what grows after the fires, banishing it to special summon the monster that was banished as a cost. And that monster happens to be Trust Guardian. The rest of Team 5Ds cannot believe it. Did Jack really entrust Aki with such an amazing tuner from his deck? They all notice that Jack gave Aki a card before she departed for her duel, but for it to be Trust Guardian is beyond unexpected. Aki tells them that Jack was so concerned with how Yusei lost that he wanted Aki to have Trust Guardian, a card no one would expect her to have on her deck. Continuing with the duel, Jack activates Quabolt Hedgehog's effect to special summon it from the graveyard. Then reveals the other card Aki left for him, Bond Between Materials. This card will increase the level of one non-tuner monster on the field by the level of another tuner on the field, increasing the level of Quabolt by 3 to make it 5. With Quabolt and Trust Guardian, he synchro summons his own very soul, Red Demon's Dragon. Jan smiles and says, "So that is the king's own legendary Red Demon's Dragon." But Jack interrupts him, telling that there is more. Jack normal summons Dread Dragon and with it and Vice Dragon, synchro summons Explode Dragon Wing. He activates the speed spell Summon Speeder to summon Power Supplier, using its effect to empower Dragon Wing. Finally, he brings back Level Eater once again by reducing Red Demon's level. Jack proceeds to battle. Explode Wing Dragon attacks and destroys Tricorn with its effect, burning Jan for 2,800. In response, Jan activates Thousand Crisscross, a trap that resurrects his monster destroyed by a card effect, destroying the opposing Dragon Wing and restores his life points equal to its attack. With Red Demon still on the field, Jack carries on with his next attack. Jan uses his other face down, Mirrored Battle. By paying life points equal to the difference in attack between both monsters times 2, Jan can make his Tricorn's attack equal to Red Demon's. However, due to Trust Guardian, Red Demons will still survive this battle. And so will Tricorn, as Horned Stampede can also trigger its returning effect by banishing Thunder Unicorn and 2 other monsters equal to its level. Afterwards, the card is destroyed. Jack sets 3 cards and ends turn. Red Demons with its effect destroys Level Eater and Power Supplier. Jan announces that no matter what, the next 2 turns will decide everything. He draws, and it is exactly the card that he needs. He uses Speed World 2's effect to burn Jack for 800 damage, leaving him at 1,600. Jan activates the speed spell Vengeful Burial. By returning up to 6 of his banished monsters to the deck, he can increase the attack of one of his monsters by 100 for each monster return. And if he does the max amount, that monster can attack twice. Lightning Tricorn very much has 1 attack with 3,400 attack and will have an extra 2 attacks with 3,900. Jan declares battle. Lightning Tricorn attacks, but Jack in response reveals Unbreakable Crimson, a trap that will increase the attack of a dragon or fiend synchro monster you control by 800 and the first time it would be removed from the field by a card effect. It is not. Red Demons and Lightning Tricorn clash. Jack's own very soul survives, but so does Tricorn. But how? Jan tells them that if Vengeful Burial was activated with 6 monsters and at least one of them was a synchro monster, it also protects the monster affected by it from being destroyed this turn. Lightning Tricorn triggers its own effect, banishing Thunder Unicorn from the extra deck to increase its attack to 3,900 and gain an additional attack. It connects. Red Demon survives through Trust Guardian, but Jack is at 700 life points. On the third attack, Jack stops it with Scrap Iron Scarecrow. Jack survives, but barely. Jan, however, isn't too surprised. He was more or less expected this, and that is why. He sets one last card and ends turn. He tells Jack that a speed spell this powerful isn't without a cost, as he can't gain any more speed counters for the next 4 turns. Even so, Jack and the rest of Team 5Ds are convinced that if he doesn't end it this turn, there is a great possibility that Jan draws a speed spell next turn. After all, he still has enough speed counters for another use of Speed World 2's burn damage effect. Jack draws, and tells Jan that he missed his chance for victory. Now said victory was at the hands of the king. By sending a card from the top of his deck to the graveyard, he special summons Glow Up Bulb. Jan is confused. Is he going to synchro summon again? Jack reveals Crimson Ceremony. With it, he can send at least 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner monsters to the graveyard to special summon a synchro monster from his graveyard with an equal level to the monster sent away. However, if he special summons a Dark Dragon or Fiend synchro monster, it cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects this turn. Jack reveals his last face down, Servants to the Crown. He can target 1 synchro monster he controls, and equip it with as many synchro monsters from his graveyard. Each of them will boost Red Demon's attack to 500, all the way up to 5,000. This is bad. Jan's trap is Counter-Striking Whirlwind, which will target an attacking monster, halting the battle, reducing its attack by half and inflicting that same half to the opposing player. But even with all of that, Jack doesn't have enough to finish him off this turn. Or does he? Jack goes to battle. Red Demon's attacks with absolute power force and destroys Lightning Tricorn. Jan says, I suppose I was wrong. Perhaps this duel has more to... Who said my battle phase was over? Jack says. Jan is left cold and silent. Jack activates the other effect of Servants to the Crown. By sending 2 equipped synchro monsters to the graveyard, the monster equipped with them can attack again. He sends Stardust and Black Rose away. Red Demons can attack again and does so. With Crimson Hell Flare, Jack attacks Jan directly, reducing his life points to 0. Jack raises his finger up high, claiming victory and roaring out, there is only one king. And it's me, Jack Atlas. The crowd explode with cheers, seeing the return to form of their glorious king. Team 5Ds greet Jack with insane joy and praise. Yusei congratulates Jack, but Jack says that he would not have won had it not been for either Aki or Yusei. They all agree that their teamwork was essential to winning. Team Unicorn approached Team 5Ds and confessed to them everything. While being mildly angry, everyone on Team 5Ds just shrugged it off, saying that it was a great match regardless, and that they should from now on play things fair like everyone else. Team Unicorn agree of course, and thank Team 5Ds for keeping this secret amongst each other. Let's recap. Team Unicorn get complete information on Yusei's deck through an anonymous email from Yliester and prepare for it. Yusei's deck is completely countered on their opening match. He, aka Shin Yoshida's flawless Season 2 Yusei, decides to take the loss but ensures that Aki and Jack will be set up for victory. Aki, with her cards and what Yusei left for her, finishes off Andre amazingly and ties with brio. Jack fights off Jan in a one-on-one, where both duelists use the best of the cards left by their teammates and eventually comes out victorious. Season 2 Yusei shows that he can take losses. Aki gets to do more than what she did in all of the original Season 2. And Jack gets a chance to be the powerful but tactical king he was in Season 1. Sorry if the video was a bit long, but I could not help but get carried away and imagine how to make one of the most controversial duels in the franchise into one of the most epic ones. Did you guys enjoy it? What would you change from it? Or how would you overall believe Team 5Ds versus Team Unicorn should have played out? Let me know in the comments below, like and subscribe if you haven't, as I want to reach out to as many people as possible. And as always, thank you so much for watching.